Hello there, welcome back to my channel, where today I grabbed the Love Notes palette from Beauty Bay. It is their Valentine's Day 2022 release, and I think it's a really pretty palette with lots of light purples and pinks, but also some deeper tones and pretty shimmers as well. I didn't only use that palette for today's look. I did grab a blue from a different palette, but when I'm doing the tutorial, I will tell you what shades you can grab to finish the look using just the Love Notes palette if you don't have a blue. Anyway, if you'd like to see how I created this look using that palette, then stick around and I'll show you. And if you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. My name is Rachel. I'm a homeschooling stay-at-home mom who loves to play with colorful eyeshadow. I don't know much about other kinds of makeup, it's just all about the eyes. So if you're interested in seeing colorful content such as tutorials, collections, declutters, anything like that, I hope you'll consider liking and subscribing. I try to upload about 3 videos a week, and you can also find me on Instagram at Shimmers and Silver. Now without further ado, let's get into this eye look. I'm going to start today by priming my eyes using the Glamlight Icing Primer in the shade White Frosting. The Beauty Bay formula always creases on me. The mattes and the shimmers crease on me. Often with formulas, it's just the shimmer which creases because the shimmers are often a little bit more like putty and less powdery. But with Beauty Bay, it's the shimmers and the mattes. And so I've discovered the Glamlight formula to be the best so far as the ones that I've tried, when it comes to helping to prevent creasing. And so that's why I'm using it for today. Now, another consideration with the Beauty Bay formula is that the deepest matte colors do not like to build on top of each other. So I'm going to start with the darkest, and then I'm going to work out towards the lightest, which is the reverse of how I usually do it, starting with like a light wash and then building and building and building. Don't do that with Beauty Bay, because if you do that, you're going to start getting patchiness. I'm not complaining, it's just a matter of understanding how the formula works and, working within those parameters. So I'm going to take a medium blending brush, and I'm going to dip into the shade Glove, which is the dark purple matte. And I want this just in my outer corner. And I think today, instead of winging out in a cat eye shape, I'm just going to do a little bit rounder. So I'm just carefully placing that down in the outer corner, not carrying it through my crease, not carrying it high up to the brow bone, just placing it where I want it to be. I know a lot of people, when they review the Beauty Bay formula, they'll complain about the darkest mattes and how they don't build. But honestly, I don't complain about it. It's just a matter of the formula being different. Maybe it's not the best formula between the creasing and the buildability, but it's still a pretty good formula overall, and I really like Beauty Bay's color stories. I think they're interesting, and so I'm not complaining. I consider it an extra tool in my toolkit as far as learning how a formula works and how to use it to its full capacity. I think this Glove shade is so beautiful. It's this rich, plummy purple. It's very pretty. Now I'm going to try a brush that I literally don't think I've used before. This is a larger, more flat blending brush. Like, it has no powder in it. I don't think I've ever used it. It's a little thicker than the brushes that I would usually apply for shimmer. It's just, I don't know. It's like a flat C-shaped shader brush, but it's a little bit thicker, not quite as thin and flat. And I'm going to use this to blend out this Glove shade. So I'm going to take the shade Lilac. Is that the one? Yeah. I don't have my glasses on. I'm going to take the shade Lilac on this brush and work it just on the edges of Glove to blend it out a little bit. And this shade I'm also going to carry more towards the bridge of the nose, because I'm going to place some pink down there, and I want it to blend into the pink. So it's blending out Glove, and it'll blend into the pink. Essentially, this would be the transition shade that we would have laid down first. We're just laying it down second. I think that's really pretty. I like the way the shadows are performing if I start darkest and work lighter. There's no patchiness or anything like that. Now I'm going to take a smaller, more stubby brush. This is also more dense, but it's slightly pinched as well. And I'm going to dip into the shade Cheeks. And I think just for kicks, I'm going to mix that with Handkerchief. So Cheeks plus Handkerchief. They're both medium-toned matte pinks with just different undertones. And I'm going to use that on my inner corner in the crease and work to blend it out towards the purple. I'm not too concerned with getting this all over the lid, although I will put some of it on the lid, just because I'm going to put shimmer on the lid, so I don't really need to cover that real estate. I just want to help it transition. And when there's no more product on the brush itself, then I will use it, move up a little bit higher, and blend out the edge. So now I'm going to do some shimmer. I'm going to take a flat C brush or shader brush that I always use for shimmer. I want to use the shade Confetti, so I'm dipping into the pan first, loading up my brush nicely, and then I'm going to take some setting spray and spray the brush after it's loaded with product. Spraying your shimmers helps control fallout, but also usually makes the shimmer a little bit more metallic and high shine. So my brush is loaded up with the shade Confetti, and I'm going to lay this on my inner corner and the whole lid space, working out towards those purples. Now I've got pink shimmer with purple matte, so I'm going to take that same shader brush, I'm just going to flip it over and use the other side, and I'm going to dip into the purple shimmer in the matte. It's called Princess. There are two purple shimmers on the mat. I'm going to take the one called Princess. And again, I'm going to dip into the shimmer and then spray. And then knock things over and then spray the brush. And now Princess is going to help transition from the shimmer to the matte, because like formulas want to blend together. So if I take a shimmer formula in the same color range as what I'm trying to blend to, it'll help bridge that gap much better. So the shade Princess I'm going to put right here where the two colors meet, where the purple and the pink meet. And I'm going to blend it a little bit into the purple and then a little bit into the pink, and that's that. And now back to the very first brush I used with the shade Glove. I'm dipping slightly back into the pan, and I'm just going to place that over top of where I placed it before, but adding a little bit more matte to be on top of that purple shimmer. Just, again, it's just working the two shades and formulas together, trying to create a nice smooth gradient. At this point, I'm not worried about Glove being patchy because it's already the first thing that was laid down. So if there's any patchiness, in theory, it would be between the Glove shade I'm putting now and the shimmer that I'm kind of blending it into. But that's not a problem because I don't want perfect coverage. I want it to blend. Therefore, even if it were patchy, which I doubt is going to be a problem, it would be okay because it kind of, go along with my plan. Now for the lower lash line, today I really want to dip into a blue eyeshadow. I am going to start in the Love Notes palette though. I'm going to start with that smudger brush and dip into the shade Glove, and I'm going to put that on my lower lash line in the outer corner. Blue and purple are really beautiful together, so if you can find a way to blend them together, I mean, it's always going to be a winner. If you see, I now have a pretty distinct line here because the smudger brush and the shade Glove are so, so precise. So I'm just taking that original smaller blending brush or medium blending brush and working this area right here to blend it out. Nothing crazy, nothing difficult. Now I'll just take a detail crease brush from e.l.f. This one's quite fluffy, and I'm just going to work that edge a little bit to soften it a little. Okay, now for the rest of my lower lash line, I really want to use blue. I literally fell asleep last night dreaming about a purple and pink look with a blue under eye. But if you're just gonna stay in the Love Notes palette, what I would do is take a small pencil brush and dip into the shade Lavender and run that from the shade Glove all the way to the inner corner. And then I would use either Chandelier or Pillow as an inner corner highlight. Make sure you spray the shimmer. That's what I would do to finish up the look if I were staying within the Love Notes palette. But today I'm gonna grab the Opal for October Birthstone palette from BH Cosmetics. This has a matte blue, which is incredible. And I'll probably use the white shimmer as an inner corner highlight. First, I'm going to take a pencil brush. I'm going to dip into that blue shade. It's called Emotional. It is incredible. It's incredible. I'm going to take that and put it, basically what I just said to do with the one from Love Notes. I'm just going to run it on the rest of my lower lash line between Glove and the inner corner. The reason I said to grab the lavender shade from the palette if you wanted to stay within Love Notes is because the lavender is kind of a blue-toned periwinkle sort of purple, and and you would get a similar look, just not quite as blue, obviously. And then I'm going to take that same small pencil brush and dip into the shade Opal. It's the hero shade of the palette. I think it's called the hero shade, like the biggest one. I think I heard somebody call it a hero shade, so that's what I call it. I'm going to spray that shimmer, and then I will place that on the inner corner as a highlight shade. And just blend it into the blue and the pink. And then for my waterline color to finish up the eye look, I'm going to take a light pink. This is from ColourPop. It's called Fluffy. And I'm going to line my entire lower waterline. A light blue here would also be beautiful if you went a little bit more of a blue route, although if you used the shadows from Love Notes for this lower lash line, if you used that more blue toned purple, then a light blue would work there as well. And light blue is always going to work nice with pink and purple. So, no matter what you do there, it's probably going to look nice. Okay, that's it for this eye. I'm just going to go off camera and finish up. I'm going to put on some black eyeliner, mascara, everything else, and then I'll be back to show you the end result. Alright guys, here's the finished look. I put on some black eyeliner. I went a little heavy on this side because I accidentally blinked while I applied it. But then I just did a small wing, some mascara, and some setting spray, and that is about it. I think this look is really pretty. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for hanging out with me. Let me know in the comments below if you actually followed along and what you thought. Remember that you can like and subscribe if you like what you see and want to see more. And you can also find me on Instagram. So until we see each other again, have a wonderful day. Bye! Now for the lower lash line, I'm going to do something different, but if you don't have... Now for the lower lash line, I'm going to be using the Opal. Now for the lower lash line, I'm actually going to take a BH Cosmetics palette, the Opal for October palette from their BH Birthstone series. Now for the lower lash line, I'm actually going to take a different palette. I'm going to grab the Opal for October Birthstone, and